The scent hits you first, not with a jolt, but a slow, creeping invasion of your senses. It's cloying, thick, a syrupy sweetness like warm honey drizzled over exotic silk, mingled with something else, earthy, animal, and undeniably alien. It fills your lungs, coats your tongue, seems to hum in the very air of this strange, unbroken chamber. You press your palm against the wall, and it yields with the supple give of tempered gel before pushing back, firm and inescapable. No seams, no locks. Just a seamless, shimmering surface that exhales the same hypnotic sweetness. A cage. A golden, suffocatingly pleasant cage. A shadow falls, cutting off the soft, diffused light. You flinch, adrenaline electrifying your spine, and spin around. Towering above you, a creature of segmented limbs and iridescent chitin leans in, its head tilted with an unnerving, almost predatory grace. Its primary eye, a complex mosaic of shifting colors, scrutinizes you, every facet seemingly dissecting your form. Two smaller, tertiary eyes blink slowly, like ancient, knowing pearls, devoid of warmth or malice. Just profound curiosity. This is your captor, your owner. Its voice resonates, a low, melodic hum that bypasses your ears and vibrates directly in your bones, a sound designed to soothe. Ah, you are awake, little one. Good. Your throat is a desert. You try to speak, to demand, to rage, but only a dry rasp escapes. Panic, cold and sharp, stabs at your gut. You try again, forcing the words through parched lips. Where? What do you want? The creature hums again, a ripple passing through its chitinous plates, a gesture you can't quite parse. It extends a delicate appendage, tipped with tiny, soft bristles towards you. Every instinct screams, threat, fight, escape, but you're sealed in. And the touch is so incredibly soft. It brushes a stray lock of hair from your face, lingering for just a moment, like a connoisseur admiring a rare jewel, before retracting. It's not malicious. It's asterisk patronizing. You are home, little one. It drones, the sound washing over you, devoid of genuine comfort. You are safe. You are ours. Ours. The word slams into you, heavy and chilling. Home? Safe? You're not safe. You're captured, stripped of agency, reduced to a novelty, a specimen, a pet waif. You can see it in its alien gaze, in the detached affection, the possessiveness for a unique acquisition. You are merely an object of fascination. It gestures with another slender limb towards a low, wide cushion that, predictably, smells of the same intoxicating silk and honey. An invitation. A command. A bowl, filled with a viscous, glowing liquid, slides silently from a recess in the wall. It smells sweet, too. Like exotic fruit and concentrated pollen, you eye the bowl, then the towering alien. Its segmented mouth parts twitch, a gesture you interpret as encouragement. Coaxing. Eat, it hums. Rest. We have much to learn about your species. Much to enjoy. Enjoy. The word grates against your soul. Your hands clench into fists, fingernails digging crescents into your palms. Your heart, a furious drum, pounds a frantic rhythm against your ribs. You are human. You are not a toy. You are not a pet. This isn't home. This is a cage. No matter how soft its walls, how sweet its air, how benignly you are observed, they think they own you. A quiet, potent defiance ignites in your chest. They might have your body. They might have locked you in this golden, scented prison. But they don't have you. Not yet. And they certainly don't understand what kind of creature they've truly captured. This isn't the end of your story. This is just the very uncomfortable, very sweet-smelling, and utterly infuriating beginning of theirs. The cloying sweetness of the air still hangs heavy, a constant, sickening reminder of your captivity. It clings to your clothes, to your skin, even seems to permeate the taste in your mouth. You look at the glowing, viscous liquid in the bowl, the alien's patronizing gaze still burning in your memory. Tight. Eat. Rest. We have much to learn about your species, much to enjoy. A bitter laugh escapes you, dry and rattling in the oppressive silence of the chamber. Enjoy? You feel your stomach clench not with hunger, but with a visceral refusal. No, you won't eat that, not yet. Not until you decide. You push the bowl away with the back of your hand, a deliberate, quiet act of rebellion. It slides silently back into its recess, the motion almost too smooth, too perfect. Hours pass. Or is it days? The light in the room never changes, a constant, soft luminescence that denies the cycle of sun and moon, stripping you of natural rhythm. You pace. You push against the gel-like walls, testing their give, their resilience. They flex, then firm, always denying passage. You trace the invisible lines where the floor meets the wall, where the ceiling begins, searching for any seam, any crack, any imperfection in this flawless prison. There is none. Just that endless, shimmering surface, smelling of silk and honey. Your throat burns. Dehydration is a slow, insidious enemy. You can feel your energy reserves dwindling, your body screaming for water, for sustenance. But the alien food, the thought of consuming something from your captors, something that reinforces their image of you as a docile pet, sparks a cold fire in your gut. You refuse. Not out of spite, not just yet, but out of a deeper primal need to assert control over the one thing they cannot touch. Your choice. The towering alien returns. It floats into the chamber, its movements fluid, almost silent. Its mosaic eye scans you, then drifts to the empty recess where the food bowl had been. A faint ripple passes through its chitin. You can't tell if it's concern, confusion, or irritation. Little one, it hums, the sound vibrating in your chest. You have not consumed the nutrient paste. Are you unwell? You meet its gaze, your own eyes burning with a defiance you refuse to extinguish. I'm not a little one. You rasp, your voice hoarse. And I'm not eating that paste. I need poutine water. You emphasize the word, a human word, sharp and undeniable. The alien tilts its head, the motion strangely bird-like. Water? The paste provides all necessary hydration, and it contains all nutrients essential for your species. It extends a delicate appendage, gesturing towards the empty recess again. Is there a preference? A flavor profile you require? Frustration boils, hot and potent. It sees you as a picky eater, not a prisoner. It sees a malfunctioning toy, not a thinking being. This isn't a negotiation to them, it's a troubleshooting exercise. No, you yell, the sound raw and desperate. I need water. Clear, simple water. From a tap. And what about coffee? The absurdity of the demand, the sheer human stubbornness of it, even makes you crack a ghost of a smile. Coffee. A stupid, beautiful thought. The alien's primary eye shifts, its colors swirling with what you can only interpret as profound bewilderment. Coffee? This is an unknown requirement, and the tap you speak of, it is not a part of this habitat's design. Its voice is calm, unyielding, utterly oblivious. You push yourself to your feet, swaying slightly, but refusing to break eye contact. You are weak, parched, hungry, but your spirit is a live wire. They thought they captured a creature to observe. A curiosity. They have no idea what they've truly invited into their perfect, sweet-smelling cage. They have no idea how stubbornly, how unreasonably, how defiantly a human being can insist on something as simple, as essential as a cup of coffee. This isn't just about survival. It's about being can endure nausea. The jingle starts subtly, a faint, almost melodic tinkling that at first you dismiss as an auditory hallucination brought on by dehydration and stress. Then it grows. Not louder, exactly, but more. Like 1,000 tiny, crystalline bells, each with its own slightly different pitch, all chiming at once, ceaselessly, without rhythm or reason. It burrows into your skull, a relentless, irritating symphony of meaningless sound. It replaces the cloying sweetness as the primary torment. It's supposed to be soothing, you realize with a cold dread. Designed for some alien physiology, perhaps, to calm a restless creature. For you, it's pure, unadulterated noise pollution. You press your hands to your ears, but the sound seems to penetrate bone, vibrating directly inside your brain case. It makes your teeth ache. This is their response, you deduce, to your refusal. Not punishment, not cruelty, but a misguided attempt at asterisk enrichment. Like giving a cat a ball of yarn, except the yarn screams. You pace again, the jingle following your every step, a mocking soundtrack to your gilded cage. Your head pounds with a dull, throbbing ache that complements the persistent thirst. The wall shimmers, and the towering alien glides in, its segmented limbs moving with that unnerving, silent grace. Its mosaic eye sweeps over you, then pauses, as if taking inventory. The 1,000 bells continue their ceaseless jingle, seemingly unnoticed by your captor. Little one. It hums, the sound itself almost drowned out by the metallic cacophony. We detected signs of agitation. This auditory stimulation is provided to mitigate stress, to provide a comforting presence. It gestures vaguely around the room, as if indicating the source of the incessant ringing. You lower your hands, clenching them into fists. Comforting? It's torturous! It's like being trapped inside a giant wind chime being battered by a hurricane. Your voice is raw, strained, fighting to be heard over the bells. Turn it off. I need quiet. The alien's tertiary eyes blink slowly. Its frequency is designed to resonate with calming neural pathways. Our data indicates it promotes tranquility in most sentient beings. Its tone is placid, utterly unmoved. It genuinely believes it's helping. That's the most frustrating part. My neural pathways, you snap, are screaming for it to stop. Do you want me to scream? Because I can. I can scream louder than 1,000 bells. I can scream until your whatever you call those eyes shatter. You're bluffing, of course, but the desperation gives your voice an edge that sounds almost dangerous. A ripple passes through the alien's chitin. This time, it seems less like confusion and more like assessment. You've introduced an unpredictable variable, a threat. Screaming is inefficient and potentially damaging to the habitat's acoustic dampeners. It still doesn't get it. It's analyzing the term mechanics of your threat, not the term motion. You seize on that. Then turn it off. Or give me something else. Something choose. A different sound. Or a book. Anything but this. You point frantically around the room, the bells still jangling. The alien considers this, its mosaic eye shifting through a spectrum of colors. It's evaluating. Data points. You can almost see the calculations churning. A different sound. A book, it repeats, testing the words. These are unusual requests for a captive subject. However, we are committed to your well-being. What form would this book take? What sound would be preferable? It's a crack, a hairline fracture in their perfect pet-owning logic. They're listening. They're still treating you like a difficult pet, but they're starting to asterisk listen to your demands, not just dismiss them. You take a deep, shaky breath, the bells still assaulting your ears. This isn't just about turning off the noise. It's about making them ask you what you want. The sudden silence is a physical blow, a jarring lack that leaves your ears ringing with phantom bells. For a glorious, agonizing second, pure, unadulterated quiet washes over you. You sag against the yielding wall, eyes closed, drinking in the blessed absence of noise, a precious draught after an eternity of torment. It's over. Relief. A potent, dizzying drug floods your system. You almost laugh. Almost. Then it begins. Not a jingle. Not a hum. This is something else entirely. A sound like wind chimes made of hollow bones. Rattling and clacking. Slowly at first. Then building. Twisting into an unsettling rhythm. And within that rhythm, a new, insidious element takes root. Laughter. Not joyful, not even malicious, but thin, echoing, as if recorded from a great distance and filtered through static. It's distorted, looping endlessly, a single, reedy cackle that sounds vaguely human, yet utterly devoid of warmth. It's the king's cruel laughter, you realize, not because it's loud, but because it's so empty, so dismissive, so deliberately wrong. You snap your eyes open. The chamber, identical in its seamless perfection, now feels imbued with a new, mocking aura. This is their answer. You asked for a different sound. You asked for something you chose. And they gave you this, a twisted echo of your own species, processed into a new form of psychological torture. The wall shimmers, and the towering alien, your primary captor, glides into the room. Its mosaic eye sweeps over you, lingering on your face. You can feel its gaze, dissecting, analyzing, and for the first time, you detect a flicker of what could almost be satisfaction in its posture. Little one. It hums, the sound now layered over the hollow laughter. It gestures with a segmented limb towards the ambient air. You requested a different auditory stimulus. Our analysis of your species, vocalizations indicated a high correlation between laughter and positive emotional states. We have curated a loop for your comfort. Your jaw tightens. Comfort? It's a parody, a mockery. They took something intrinsically human, something that signifies joy and camaraderie, and rendered it cold, sterile, and maddeningly repetitive. They're not trying to soothe you. They're demonstrating their absolute control, their ability to twist even your most fundamental desires into a weapon against you. This isn't comfort. You growl, your voice low, fighting to stay steady over the insidious cackling. This is a joke, a bad one. The alien tilts its head, its tertiary eyes blinking. A joke? Our data does not indicate this. Laughter is intended as such. It is a precise frequency replication. It truly doesn't understand, or pretends not to. Which is worse? You stand, swaying slightly, pushing past the constant thirst and the gnawing hunger. You walk towards the alien, stopping just short of its massive frame, forcing it to look down at you. You think you're smart, don't you? You think you've figured us out. You think you can take something human, strip it down, and feed it back to us as comfort. You spit the word like a curse. You think you can break us with bad noise and sweet smells. The alien remains still, its mosaic eye unreadable. Our objective is optimal habitat integration for the specimen. Your resistance to previously provided stimuli was noted. This solution is based on extrapolated, cultural data. Your own laughter bursts forth then, raw and genuine, cutting through the alien loop. It's not happy. It's grim, defiant, laced with a bitter understanding. Extrapolated cultural data, huh? You're so busy extrapolating you don't even see what's right in front of you. This isn't optimal habitat integration. This is a fight. You point to your head, then to your heart. And you just picked a fight with something you fundamentally don't understand. Because no matter how many times you play that empty noise, you'll never break the real laughter. A sudden heat washes over your face, not gentle and pervasive like a summer morning, but sharp, almost aggressive, like stepping too close to an industrial lamp. You flinch, eyes snapping open. The seamless walls of your chamber, usually bathed in a soft, unchanging glow, are now pulsating with a sickly, orange-red brilliance. It's asterisk light, unmistakably, but alien. It throbs, then dims, then pulses again, casting your own distorted shadow across the yielding surface. A grotesque dance partner in this new, unsettling environment. The king's cruel laughter, which had been gnawing at your sanity, mercifully fades, replaced by this aggressive foreign sun. Your skin prickles. It's not just light. There's a distinct thermal radiation, too weak to warm you fully, but enough to make you feel perpetually under a scrutinizing, uncomfortable spotlight. This is their next attempt at habitat optimization, you realize. With a bitter twist in your gut, they want to simulate your home star. But they've got it so wrong. It feels like a fever dream, not a sunrise. You watch the pulsing light, your heart rate slowly settling from the initial shock. Your eyes ache from the intensity, a dull throb behind your temples. You push yourself up, feeling the persistent thirst, the lingering hunger, but a new resolve hardens within you. They are trying. In their own clueless, alien way, they are trying to asterisk control you. And every attempt is another opportunity. The wall shimmers, and the towering alien glides in, its segmented form shimmering briefly in the harsh, artificial light. Its primary eye, a complex mosaic, scans the room, then settles on you. Little one, it hums, the sound itself seeming off-key in the pulsating red glow. We have initiated the diurnal cycle, calibrated to match your species' primary star. This will regulate your internal rhythms, promoting restorative sleep and wakefulness. It gestures with a delicate appendage towards the oscillating light. Observations indicated a preference for natural light cycles. This solution addresses that variable. You stare at the alien, a wry, humorless smile touching your lips. Natural light cycle? This is a rave gone wrong. It's like staring into a broken lava lamp, not a sun. And it doesn't promote restorative sleep. It promotes a migraine. You rub your temples, emphasizing the point. A real sun, a natural sun, rises gently. It warms the air. It brings the scent of morning dew, not whatever that sickly sweet stuff is. And it absolutely, unequivocally, brings with it the need for coffee. The alien's primary eye shifts, its colors swirling through unfamiliar hues, an indication of complex data processing. Coffee, it repeats, the word sounding utterly alien in its melodic hum. This variable has appeared in previous linguistic data. Its precise function remains undefined. You can't help but chuckle, a dry, rough sound. This is it. This is your leverage. Function? It's not just a function. It's an asterisk experience compli. It's a ritual. It's a dark, bitter, glorious liquid that smells like possibility and tastes like courage. It's what wakes the human mind, sharpens the senses, and fuels entire civilizations. You want to understand human wakefulness? You want internal rhythms? Then you need coffee. And not some synthesized paste. I'm talking roasted beans. Ground fine, brewed hot, and strong enough to jumpstart a dead starship. You walk closer to the alien, your voice gaining strength, conviction. It's more than just a drink. It's focus. It's debate. It's a quiet moment before the storm. It's highly, intensely, wonderfully addictive. And once you've had it, once you've felt that buzz, that clarity, there's no going back. It's a fundamental part of a human's diurnal cycle. If you truly want to observe us, to understand us, you have to understand coffee. The alien remains still, its mosaic eye fixed on you, its tertiary eyes blinking with that slow, ancient curiosity. The artificial sun continues its sickening orange-red pulse, a relentless thrum against your eyeballs. It feels less like light and more like pressure, an oppressive weight that never fully recedes. But now, another weight settles upon you, the palpable, calculating intensity of the alien's gaze. It hasn't moved since your impassioned demand for coffee, its primary mosaic eye fixed, unblinking, its colors swirling with a new, unsettling speed. This isn't the detached curiosity of a pet owner anymore. This feels like the cold, hard stare of a collector who realizes their prized acquisition is far more complex and potentially volatile than initially cataloged. You can feel the silent algorithms churning in its alien mind. Deutsch Dop Coffee Skau. A simple word, yet loaded with such profound human meaning. It hangs in the air. A challenge, a declaration. You stand your ground, defiant, parched and hungry, but strangely invigorated by the confrontation. You watch its tertiary eyes blink, slow and deliberate, like ancient cogs grinding in thought. Then, a low hum, deeper and less melodic than before, vibrates through the room. Coffee, it repeats, the word now imbued with a different inflection, less questioning, more analytical. An addictive stimulant, a cultural cornerstone, a requirement for wakefulness. Your species exhibits a complex reliance on this substance. The words are flat, devoid of emotion, yet you detect a subtle shift. It's no longer dismissing your needs as quaint preferences. It's registering them as TAPS data points, dangerous data points. It glides closer, its segmented form looming over you. You don't flinch. You meet its multifaceted gaze, refusing to break contact. Your heart pounds, a wild drum against your ribs, but your expression remains steady. This is a game of wills, played out in silence and the constant throb of artificial light. Our archives contain no direct equivalent for coffee production on this vessel. It states, its voice a low resonance. However, our biosynthesizers are capable of replicating complex organic compounds. We require specific molecular data and a demonstration of its preparation and consumption protocols. A triumphant spark ignites in your chest. They're considering it. They're not just providing a mimicry of your desires. They're asking you to teach them. This is an opening. This is power. Molecular data won't be enough, you say, your voice firm, pushing past the dryness in your throat. You need the ritual. You need the smell of the roast, the grind of the beans, the steam from the cup. It's not just chemicals. It's connection. It's a moment of focus. I'll show you. But I need the raw materials, the beans, a grinder, a pot, and a cup. You hold up your hand, fingers splayed, emphasizing the singular, personal object. For me, not another paste dispenser. The alien remains still for a long moment, its gaze heavy, scrutinizing. You can almost feel it weighing the risk, the implications of your demands. To give you the tools, to allow you to create something, even a simple drink, is to acknowledge your agency. It's to grant you a measure of control within its perfect, seamless cage. And that is a dangerous precedent. Understood. It finally hums. The sound now carrying an undertone of something new. Not exactly apprehension, but a heightened awareness. The request for raw materials and ritualistic preparation is noted. Protocols for acquisition and analysis will be initiated. Further observation of your idiosyncrasies will continue. It turns, its movements still fluid, but a fraction slower, as if burdened by the sheer complexity of the new data it has gathered. As it glides away, the artificial sun continues its rhythmic pulse. But now, it feels different. Not just a crude imitation of your sun, but a stage. And you, the supposed pet, are beginning to direct the play. They think they're observing an anomaly. You know you're planting a seed. The artificial sun still pulses its orange-red glow. A visual assault, but a new, earthy scent cuts through the cloying sweetness of the habitat. It's faint at first, a ghost of a memory, then stronger, sharper, utterly undeniable. Coffee. Your nostrils flare, pulling in the rich, dark aroma, and a shiver runs down your spine. Not of cold, but of a profound, almost spiritual recognition. It smells like home. It smells like possibility. It smells like freedom. The seamless wall shimmers, and, this time, it doesn't just part for the towering alien. A low, circular pedestal rises silently from the floor, bearing a small collection of objects. Your breath hitches. There they are. A small, crude grinder, clearly cobbled together from alien tech, but unmistakably designed for grinding. Next to it, a ceramic pot, simple, unadorned, yet perfectly functional. And then, the beans. A heap of them, dark, oily, gleaming with a promise that sends a jolt through your weary body. You recognize the Robusta varietal immediately, and beside them, a single, unassuming mug. It feels weighty, solid, utterly yours. The alien glides in, its mosaic eye fixed on your reaction. We have procured the requested coffee elements. It hums, its voice carrying an odd inflection you haven't heard before, a hint of something. Curiosity? Anticipation? Our analysis indicates significant energy transfer potential and a complex array of psychoactive compounds. The ritualistic preparation component remains unclear. You reach out, fingers trembling slightly, and pick up a handful of the beans. Their rough texture, their comforting weight, the intense, roasted scent that clings to your skin. It's a connection to everything you've lost, everything you're fighting for. It's not just energy transfer, you overgrown bug brain, you murmur, A genuine, if defiant smile spreading across your face. It's asterisk life. And the ritual is everything. You look up at the alien, your eyes blazing with an energy that coffee itself usually provides. All right, listen up, because this is important. This is how you make an asterisk actual human happy. This is how you understand us. First, the grind. You pick up the grinder. It feels oddly satisfying in your hand. We're not pulverizing this into dust. It needs to be coarse. Like beach sand. Not too fine, not too chunky. Consistency is key. You mimic the motion of grinding, making a whirring sound with your mouth. The alien leans in, its tertiary eyes blinking rapidly. You can almost hear the data streams flowing through its mind, trying to reconcile your fervent instructions with its cold, scientific observations. The parameters of coarse and chunky are imprecise. Do you require a calibrator? No. You shake your head, a surge of adrenaline pushing back against the fatigue. You learn by doing, by feeling. Just watch and listen. You pour a small amount of beans into the grinder, the dry clatter echoing in the room. This isn't just about coffee. This is about establishing a new dynamic. You are not a pet, being Gador's a given talks things. You are an instructor, a guide, a shaman, initiating them into a sacred, human rite. You demonstrate the grinding motion. The crude alien mechanism whirs, struggles a little, then produces a cascade of freshly ground coffee, filling the chamber with an even more potent, glorious aroma. It's imperfect, sure, but it's asterisk yours. You cup a hand under the falling grounds, inhaling deeply. A profound sense of satisfaction washes over you. A small, yet monumental victory. See? You say, holding up the ground coffee for the alien to inspect. This is the smell of a revolution, my friend. This is the taste of wedding gold. Because this isn't just about a drink. This is about choice. It's about taste. It's about demanding something, and getting it, on your own terms. The artificial sun still casts its sickly, pulsing glow, but now, cutting through that oppressive visual, and through the lingering sweetness, is the undeniable piquant from lax of pure, dark brewed coffee. You've just finished the delicate dance of pouring the hot, dark liquid from the alien pot. Its internal heating element somehow managed to get the water to just the right temperature into your sturdy ceramic mug. Steam rises, curling into the unsettling red light, carrying with it the raw, intoxicating promise of caffeine. You bring the mug to your lips, the warmth seeping into your cold hands. A familiar comfort. The first sip is a shock. Bitter, yes, but gloriously so. Earthy, rich, a deep resonance that vibrates through your tongue and down your throat. It's not just a drink, it's an awakening. It's validation. It's the taste of victory after a long, drawn-out siege. You close your eyes, letting the potent liquid work its magic, feeling the caffeine hit your bloodstream, pushing back against the lingering fatigue and the dull throb behind your eyes. This isn't a memory anymore, this is real. This is asterisk yours. The towering alien, along with two others that have silently entered the chamber, are watching you with an intensity that feels like the silence of marble halls. Their collective gaze, 3 sets of mosaic eyes, is a palpable weight, unblinking, absorbing every minute detail of your actions. They are observing the ritualistic preparation and consumption protocols you promised. And you are performing it like a high priest. You open your eyes, a renewed sharpness in them, and meet the collective gaze of your captors. See, you say, holding the mug aloft, steam still curling. This is what you were missing. This is what a human needs to truly wake up. You take another, slower sip, savoring the experience, letting them witness the pleasure, the clarity. The liquid exhibits a highly stimulating effect. One of the newly arrived aliens hums, its voice a slightly higher pitch than your primary captor. Bioscans indicate a rapid increase in neural activity. What is the pleasure correlation? You set the mug down gently, the ceramic clinking softly on the pedestal. Pleasure, my friend, is a complex thing. Sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's this. You gesture to the coffee. It's about taste, yes, but it's also about what it does. It sharpens the mind, it clears the fog. It lets you think, tweet, docs, tweet, really think. And it makes you feel like you can take on anything. You look pointedly at your primary captor, even a seamless, sweet-smelling cage. The alien leader ripples, its segmented plates shifting. The stimulant effect is significant. Are there side effects to this, coffee? You grin, a genuine, slightly wicked smile. Oh, absolutely. It's asterisk addictive. You drink it once, you want it again. You drink it every day, and your body starts expecting it. You miss it, and you get a headache. You get irritable. You can't focus. You can't think. You start craving it so bad, you'd do almost anything for a cup. You let that sink in, the implications hanging heavy in the air. Nos, addiction, a lever, a vulnerability. The three aliens exchange silent, data-driven glances. Their tertiary eyes blink, their mosaic eyes shift through a kaleidoscope of analytical colors. They're processing, calculating the risk-reward of this new, powerful substance. The silence stretches, broken only by the rhythmic pulse of the artificial sun and the lingering scent of your coffee. This addiction component, the primary alien hums, its voice lower now, almost hesitant. It appears to be a negative characteristic, yet you present it as a strength. It's both, you state simply, meeting their gaze with unwavering conviction. That's humanity for you. We find strength in our weaknesses. We adapt. We learn to harness our addictions, to make them work for us. Coffee for us isn't just a drink. It's fuel for thought. A cold, sterile wind whips through the chamber, pushing aside the cloying sweetness and the lingering aroma of coffee, leaving only a stark, metallic tang on your tongue. The artificial sun, which had become a predictable, if unpleasant, constant, dims slightly, then surges with a blinding white intensity that forces you to squint. This isn't a diurnal cycle adjustment. This is an entrance, a statement. You feel it in your bones, a shift in the hierarchy, a more profound, deliberate gaze settling upon you. This is the sheen on the master's sword, sharp and undeniable. Through the dazzling glare, a new figure glides into the room. It's taller than your primary captor, its segmented limbs encased in a darker, almost obsidian chitin that reflects the harsh light with an unnerving, polished gleam. Its mosaic eye is larger, more intricate, and utterly devoid of the previous alien's faint curiosity. This one radiates an ancient, unwavering authority. It is the architect of your prison, the collector, perhaps even the leader of this vessel. Its mere presence is a suffocating weight. Your primary captor, the one you'd begun to subtly manipulate, hovers nervously in the background, a subservient shadow. The new alien, without a word, extends a delicate, multi-jointed appendage towards your mug of half-finished coffee. A single tendril-like sensor brushes the ceramic, then retracts. You hold your breath, a primal warning screaming in your mind. Threat display. Its voice is a deeper resonance than you've heard before. A low thrum that vibrates the very floor beneath your feet, speaking directly into your skull. The substance, coffee, has been introduced into the specimen's habitat. Our internal analytics indicate significant psychoactive effects, including a reported addiction component. Explain its purpose. Explain its utility. The words are not a request. They are a command. You meet its unblinking obsidian gaze, a surge of adrenaline sharpening your wits. This isn't the time for subtle negotiation. This is about assertion. Purpose? Utility? You retort, your voice steady despite the tremor in your hands. You pick up the mug, the warmth, a comforting anchor. Its purpose is to wake the mind. Its utility is to think. Clearer, faster, more creatively. You take a deliberate, defiant sip, letting the bitter taste fortify you. The towering alien leader ripples, a subtle shift in its dark carapace. Its gaze feels like a drill, boring into your very essence. Our physiological assessments indicate your species' neural activity is sufficient without external stimulants. This addiction creates a dependency. It introduces an exploitable vulnerability. Exactly, you reply, a wry, humorless smile touching your lips. It's a vulnerability you now share. You wanted to understand us, right? You wanted to observe our wakefulness and internal rhythms. Well, you can't fully understand a human without understanding coffee. And now you've brought it onto your ship. You've tasted it. You gesture to the primary captor, who shifts uncomfortably. Your subordinate has already sampled it, and I bet it's wondering when it gets its next cup. The obsidian alien's mosaic eye flickers, its myriad facets swirling. It turns its immense head towards your primary captor. The subordinate alien hums, a low, hesitant sound. Superior, the stimulant effect is notable. A pronounced clarity of thought was observed. And the craving mechanism is also present. You press your advantage. See? It's not just a dependency, it's leverage. It's a shared experience. It's a tool. For focus. For community. For debate. You lean forward, meeting the leader's intense gaze. You want to control me? You want to understand human thought? Give me more coffee. Give your scientists more coffee. Let them think tuss with it. Let them feel the addiction. Because that shared vulnerability, that's where the real understanding begins. The sharp, sterile tang of the cold wind still prickles your skin, a phantom echo of the master's presence. The blinding white intensity of the artificial sun fades just enough to allow you to blink without pain, but its oppressive glare remains, a constant reminder of the alien leader's rigid authority. It had left, gliding away with that terrifying silent grace, taking your audacious claims about addiction and leverage with it, to be processed by its vast, inscrutable mind. The silence it leaves behind is not empty, though. It's filled with the faint, almost imperceptible hum of data streams, of calculations, of a species struggling to categorize something fundamentally unpredictable. Your primary captor, the subordinate alien, remains. It hovers a short distance from you, its segmented limbs slightly stiffer, its mosaic eye shifting with a subtle, yet discernible, unease. You watch it, noting the almost imperceptible twitch of its secondary eyes, the way its carapace seems to hold attention it didn't before. This isn't just a cold scientific observation. This is a creature grappling with a new, unwelcome sensation. A craving. You recognize the signs. You hold your still warm mug of coffee, its scent now a comforting, familiar anchor in the sterile air. The residual caffeine buzz still hums in your veins, sharpening your perception. You see the subtle tremor in its stance, the way its multifaceted gaze keeps darting towards the pedestal where the coffee beans and grinders sit. It wants it. It's trying to hide it, but the need is there. A nascent alien addiction taking root. Headache, is it? You ask, your voice low, laced with a knowing amusement that you try to keep from sounding too gloating. You take another slow, deliberate sip from your mug. The subordinate alien recoils slightly, a jolt of what almost looks like surprise passing through its frame. Neural feedback indicates an unusual pressure in the cranial cavity. It hums, its voice a fraction less steady than usual, and a diminished capacity for focused thought. Our internal diagnostic systems report no previous instances of this phenomenon. It sounds genuinely bewildered, almost vulnerable. You nod. A slow, understanding gesture. Yeah, that's the withdrawal. That's what happens when you introduce your system to coffee and then deprive it. Your body remembers the clarity, the focus, and it wants it back. You gesture to the grinder. It needs a fix, like a dog waiting for its dinner. Except this dinner also makes you smarter. The alien remains still for a long moment, its primary eye cycling through a rapid series of colors. This analogy, dog's devotion, it implies subservience. Yet you imply an increased cognitive function. This is paradoxical. Paradoxical is human, you retort, leaning against the yielding wall, feeling a surge of confidence. We find power in paradoxes. A dog's devotion isn't just about subservience, it's about trust. It's about relying on a source of comfort, of sustenance, of shared experience. And right now, I'm the only one who truly understands that source. You gesture to the coffee setup. I understand the ritual. I understand what it takes to make the headache go away and bring the clarity back. You push off the wall, walking slowly towards the pedestal. Now, your leader just went off to process data, to decide if this coffee is a useful tool or too dangerous. But while it's doing that, your head is still throbbing. Your thoughts are sluggish. You're not operating at peak efficiency, are you? You look at it, your gaze piercing, challenging. Do you want to wait for a bureaucratic decision? Or do you want to think clearly? Now! The subordinate alien's mosaic eye locks onto yours. Its carapace ripples again, a deeper, more pronounced wave. You can feel its internal struggle. The rhythmic *whir* of the alien grinder, now clumsily operated by your subordinate captor's multi-jointed appendage, is a surprisingly soothing sound. It's loud enough to mask any subtle data stream hums, creating a small, intimate bubble of shared rebellion within the vast, sterile ship. The artificial sun still pulses its sickening red glow, but its light feels softer now, almost domestic, filtered through the rising steam of your newly brewed coffee. Your subordinate, the alien you've mentally dubbed Cathar, for lack of a real name, hunches over the pedestal, its mosaic eye fixed on the task, its tertiary eyes blinking with an almost frantic concentration. It hasn't had its second cup yet, and the neural feedback from the first one is clearly making its absence profoundly felt. The caffeine headache is a universal language, apparently. You sip your own coffee, already feeling the familiar, glorious surge of clarity. Good, good, you murmur, watching Cathar's careful movements. See? It's not just brute force. It's about touch, about listening to the beans. They tell you when they're ready. You gesture with a gentle hand. A little coarser this time. Let's try for a robust, earthy note. You like robust, don't you, Cathar? Cathar pauses, its segmented head tilting. The whirring stops, plunging the chamber into a sudden, tense silence, broken only by the faint, almost imperceptible drip of condensation from the cooling pot. Robust? It hums, the word sounding strange in its melodic voice. My previous consumption metrics indicated a preference for sweetened paste. My current physiological data suggests a strong inclination towards any form of this coffee. Its primary eye, however, still holds that undeniable glint of craving. You chuckle, a soft, conspiratorial sound. Exactly. But here's the thing about humans, Cathar. Once we get something good, we immediately start thinking about how to make it den better. And we all have different ideas of better. Some like it strong, some like it light, some like it bitter, some sweet. You lean in slightly, lowering your voice, though there's no one else here to hear. Who gets to decide what better is, Cathar? Does your leader, the master collector, decide for everyone? Or do you get to decide for yourself? Cathar's mosaic eye swirls rapidly, its myriad facets shifting. This time, the calculations aren't just about coffee. They're about concepts. About choices. The master collector establishes all protocols and preferences for the collective. Individual deviation is inefficient. It introduces variables. Its voice is a little less confident now, tinged with a nascent uncertainty. The headache, you realize, is breaking down its mental barriers. Variables are where the good stuff happens, Cathar, you whisper, your voice a soft, compelling lullaby, an angel's voice leading it down a dangerous path. Imagine if everyone on this ship got to choose their own coffee, what kind of coffee they wanted. How strong? How much? Think of the ideas that would come from all that clarity, all that individual choice. You'd have a ship full of brilliant minds, all energized, all thinking for themselves. You point to the grinder. Right now you're just making some's coffee. But what if you could make your coffee? What if every single crew member, every single subordinate, got a say in what made them most efficient? Most awake? Cathar slowly reaches for another handful of beans, its movements less robotic, more deliberate. Its tertiary eyes fix on the grinder, then on you, then on the beans, as if seeing them for the first time through a new, rebellious lens. Individual choice for collective efficiency. It hums, testing the words, rolling them around in its alien mind. The concept is clearly foreign, yet the coffee-induced need for clarity makes it strangely compelling. It's not just about efficiency, Cathar. It's about respect. The coarse grind, Cathar's own imperfect but proudly chosen texture, steams in the cup you've handed it. You watch as its segmented appendage trembles slightly, bringing the mug to its mouthparts. Its mosaic eye is wide, focused. It sips. The reaction is instantaneous. A jolt. A sudden stiffening of its carapace, then a deep, resonant hum of satisfaction. The clarity washes over it. A palpable wave of awakened thought. For a moment, it is glorious. For a moment, Cathar is truly awake. Cathar lowers the mug, its tertiary eyes blinking rapidly, the orange-red artificial sun glinting off its chitin. The mental fog is dissipated. It hums. Its voice now crisp, clear, devoid of the previous headache-induced sluggishness. My cognitive processes are operating at optimal efficiency. This, coffee, it is truly remarkable. The individual choice parameters yield superior results. It turns its mosaic eye towards you, and for the first time you see not just curiosity, but an almost enthusiastic understanding. It gets it. It genuinely gets it. See? You say, a triumphant grin spreading across your face. I told you. This is what thinking for yourself feels like. This is what having a voice, even if it's just about how you take your coffee, can do. It makes you sharper. It makes you better. You raise your own mug in a silent toast. The satisfaction is short-lived. A sudden jarring thrum vibrates through the floor, a deeper resonance than any ship's hum. The seamless wall, usually so fluid in its openings, snaps back, a sudden aggressive void. The harsh, blinding white light of the Master Collector's entrance floods the chamber, stripping away the cozy, rebellious intimacy you'd just created. The temperature drops, an icy wave of pure, unadulterated authority washing over you. This isn't an observation. This is an interrogation. The obsidian kitten Master Collector glides in, its immense form radiating an almost physical coldness. Its primary eye, larger and more intricate than any other, sweeps over the room, instantly registering the freshly brewed coffee, Cathar's still trembling mug, and the newfound, rebellious clarity in its subordinate stance. There's no hum of data processing this time, only an unyielding, predatory stillness. Cathar! The Master's voice reverberates, a low, guttural thrum that seems to peel the air from your lungs. It's a sound of absolute displeasure, a single, sharp note of warning. You have deviated from established protocols. You have consumed the stimulant without authorization, and you have engaged in unsanctioned discourse with the specimen. The last word is laced with a dismissive contempt that makes your blood boil. Cathar stiffens, its carapace shifting, a clear sign of fear, but its mosaic eye, now blazing with the coffee-fueled clarity, remains fixed on the Master. The moment stretches, taut with unspoken tension. This is it. The price of a single note. The cost of Cathar's first independent choice. Superior. Cathar hums, its voice surprisingly steady, though still tinged with deference. The stimulant effect provides superior cognitive function. My clarity of thought is demonstrably enhanced. The specimen's ritualistic preparation methods are efficient and yield optimal results for neural activation. My deviation was for optimized collective benefit. You watch Cathar, a fierce primal pride swelling in your chest. It's making a stand. It's using the very language of its oppressors, efficiency, and collective benefit to justify its own rebellion. It's using the coffee to fuel its defiance. Your first disciple. Your first taste of revolution. The Master Collector's primary eye narrows, its facets contracting. Optimized collective benefit, or individual insubordination. Its gaze, icy and piercing, flicks from Cathar to you, then back to the subordinate. The specimen has introduced a corrupting influence. The silence that follows the Master Collector's departure isn't the familiar, soft hum of the ship. It's a vacuum, cold and absolute, pressing in on you like a physical weight. The blinding white intensity of the artificial sun remains, searing your retinas, a stark reminder of the Master's furious presence, even in its absence. Cathar is gone. snatched away in that terrifying seamless void of the wall's closure, leaving behind only the lingering, ghost-like aroma of freshly brewed coffee, a bitter testament to its defiance. You stand alone, the ceramic mug still warm in your hands, but its contents now taste like ash. Your heart hammers against your ribs, a frantic, desperate rhythm in the oppressive quiet. What happened to Cathar? Banishment? Re-education? Worse? The thought sends a cold spike of dread through your gut. You'd pushed it. You'd used its craving, its headache to plant a seed, and now it was paying the price. The air in the chamber, once cloyingly sweet, is now sharp, sterile, utterly devoid of comfort. Every surface, every shimmering wall, feels like it's watching you, scrutinizing, analyzing. You are no longer just a pet. You are a known variable. A threat. And the entire, vast, perfectly ordered great house of this ship, which once dismissed you, now feels haunted by your mere existence. You are the ghost in its machine, an anomaly it cannot compute, a problem it cannot solve with simple containment. You turn slowly, surveying your perfectly circular prison. The pedestal, where the grinder and coffee beans still sit, seems like an altar to a forbidden god. The master collector didn't remove the coffee. Why? Is it another test? Or a perverse concession, acknowledging its addictive power even while condemning its influence? Suddenly, a faint, almost imperceptible click nocturne-size echoes from the far side of the chamber. Your eyes snap to it. A tiny pinprick of light, almost invisible in the overwhelming glare of the artificial sun, glows for a fraction of a second, then vanishes. It's a camera. Not the obvious, large ocular device that usually observes you, but a small, hidden one. A covert addition. You're under intensified surveillance. Every breath, every move, every thought, they probably hope. You raise the coffee mug, take a slow, deliberate sip, and meet the invisible gaze of the hidden camera. A defiant, bitter smile touches your lips. They think they can simply observe you into submission? They think they can squash the spark by removing Cathar? They still don't understand. You know, for all your advanced tech, you murmur, your voice barely above a whisper, but knowing it will be amplified, dissected, processed. You really don't get us, do you? You take away one. But the idea, the craving, that's already out there. It's in Cathar's head, even now. And it's in the head of every drone, every subordinate who heard Cathar's voice change, who saw its clarity. You walk towards the hidden camera's general location, stopping just shy of the wall. You think you've just isolated a corrupting influence. You continue, your voice gaining strength, resonating with a quiet, potent conviction. But what you've actually done is turn me into a ghost. An idea. And ideas, my friend, are far harder to contain than a mere body. They spread. They whisper. They germinate in the dark, in the quiet places. And they're always, always fueled by that insatiable human desire for more. You gesture around the sterile chamber, then back to the coffee set. You left me the tools too, the seeds of the revolution. You left them in the very heart of your perfect, silent ship. And now, everywhere a subordinate alien feels that familiar, dull ache behind its eyes. Everywhere it remembers that clarity, that sharp, beautiful buzz it's going to think of me, of Cathar, and of coffee. And every single time that happens, a little piece of your great house will become haunted. The constant, searing glare of the artificial sun, unrelenting since the Master Collector's departure, presses down on you. The silence, once merely oppressive, now feels like a physical barrier, isolating you from Cathar, from any direct contact. Yet, beneath that silence, you feel the hum of countless sensors, the unblinking stare of unseen cameras. You are alone, yes, but never truly unobserved. And that, you realize, is your new arena. You walk to the pedestal, the coffee beans gleaming under the harsh light. The grinder is still there. The pot. Your ceramic mug. They left the tools. A mistake. You pick up a handful of beans, their rough texture, a welcome grit against your palm. their rich, dark scent a potent weapon. You begin the ritual, slowly, deliberately. You grind the beans, the whirring sound surprisingly loud in the sterile quiet. You boil the water. You pour. Every motion is amplified, a silent performance for your unseen audience. You are not just making coffee. You are demonstrating an idea. You are broadcasting a craving. You take a deep, fortifying sip, letting the bitter warmth course through you. Your mind sharpens, thoughts racing. They watch you. But what do they truly see? A specimen consuming a stimulant? Or a human, deliberately asserting control, performing a sacred rite? Hours bleed into days, or what you assume are days, in this unchanging environment. You maintain the ritual. You brew coffee. You drink it. You even leave a small, unused portion of the fresh grounds on the pedestal. A silent offering. A taunt. A challenge. Then, a subtle change. The usual sweet, cloying aroma of the habitat, which your coffee ritual had only temporarily suppressed, seems weaker, fainter. It's not gone, but it feels diluted, less insistent. And in its place, just barely detectable, is a faint, crisp, almost metallic scent, like ozone after a storm, like clean air, somehow. You look around, scanning the seamless walls. Nothing, no visible change. But the air feels different, less suffocating, less like a cage designed for a pampered pet. You realize what it is. It's a purification cycle, an atmospheric scrub. But it's targeted. It's cleaning out the cloying, sickly sweet pheromones that were supposed to soothe you. Someone, somewhere, in the vast, unseen machinery of this ship, has adjusted the environmental controls. Someone understood your silent complaints. Someone, influenced by the memory of coffee-fueled clarity, or the growing ache of caffeine withdrawal, chose to act. You walk to the wall where the hidden camera is, stopping just inches from the smooth surface. You lift your mug of coffee, steaming gently. You thought you could just turn off Cathar, and everything would go back to normal, didn't you? You murmur, your voice calm, knowing it's being heard, analyzed. You thought you could stop the idea by removing the voice. You take a slow, deliberate sip. But the idea isn't in Cathar's voice anymore. It's in the asterisk air. It's in the quiet hum of your systems. It's in the unseen hands of your subordinates, making their own choices, even small ones. You gesture vaguely towards the subtle shift in the air. You're tasting it, aren't you? The possibility, the clarity, the craving for something Ederu more. Cathar might be gone, but the ghost it awakened is still here. And now it's got a lot more friends. Unseen friends. Friends who are learning, little by little, what it feels like to make a choice. Even if it's just about cleaning the air or about getting their next cup. You finish your coffee, the bitter warmth a comforting truth. They still think they have a pet. But a new, unseen hand now serves. And that hand, subtle and covert, is starting to feel the intoxicating, rebellious twitch of free will. The revolution isn't over. It's just gone underground. Or rather, in system. The smell of freshly brewed coffee, rich and dark, has become the dominant aroma in your circular habitat. It no longer fights the cloying sweetness. It has replaced it, a subtle victory won by unseen hands and persistent defiance. The harsh, pulsing red of the artificial sun has also softened, shifting to a milder, more consistent yellow-white, a gentler imitation of your home star. These are small changes, almost imperceptible, but they are asterisk changes, news they are concessions. They are proof that your message, carried by the ghost of Cathar and the seductive power of caffeine, is spreading. You are no longer just an anomaly to be observed. You are a force being accommodated. You are in the middle of your morning ritual, grinding the beans, the rhythmic whir-click of familiar comfort, when the seamless wall shimmers with a new, iridescent quality. Not the sharp, blinding white of the master collector, nor the muted ripple of Cathar. This glow is softer, multi-hued like oil on water. A smaller alien glides in. One you haven't seen before. Its chin tin is a mottled green-blue, And its primary eye, while still mosaic, seems less imposing, composed of larger, more curious facets. Two slender, prehensile limbs, tipped with delicate sensory feelers, extend from its torso, twitching with an almost childlike inquisitiveness. This alien hums with a softer tone, a higher pitch than Cathar, less resonant, more like the gentle vibration of a finely tuned instrument. It halts a respectful distance from you, its large, iridescent eye fixed on the coffee grinder in your hands. You continue your task, letting the aroma fill the air, a silent challenge, a potent invitation. Observation of specimen ritual commenced. It hums, its voice light, almost melodic. Data streams indicate consistent procedural execution. However, the wonder component remains undefined. You pause, looking up, a faint smile on your lips. This one is different. Less rigid, more open. Wonder, you ask, scooping the fresh grounds into the pot. Wonder is what happens when you create something from nothing. When you take a bitter bean and turn it into clarity. When you solve a problem not with brute force, but with ingenuity. You gesture to the brewing pot, the water just beginning to bubble. And it's also what happens when you're presented with something completely new, something outside your data streams, that still somehow works. The small alien shifts, its prehensile feelers twitching, not in agitation, but in what seems like concentrated thought. Your species exhibits a high correlation with unpredictability within recorded metrics. This coffee ritual, while seemingly simple, involves numerous non-deterministic variables. The precise measurement of coarseness, the application of heat duration, the optimal brew time, these are not rigidly defined. Yet the outcome is consistent. It sounds genuinely puzzled, fascinated. You pour the dark, fragrant liquid into your mug, the steam curling. That's because it's not just about the numbers, little one, you explain, taking a deep, satisfying inhale. It's about instinct. It's about knowing, about adapting to what you have, and making it sing. You take a long, slow sip, letting the caffeine flood your senses. It's about finding the beauty in the imperfection, finding the power in the asterisk human touch. The alien glides a little closer, its multifaceted eye now reflecting the warmth of your mug. One of its delicate feelers reaches out, hovering just above the steam, then retracts. You see a subtle shimmer, almost a flush, pass across its mottled chitin. Then it does something truly unexpected. Its slender prehensile limbs, which usually just twitch, begin to tap together, rapidly, softly. A complex rhythmic clicking sound that is undeniably deliberate. It's not loud. It's not human. But the intent is unmistakable. It's an alien version of applause. Your heart gives a surprised lurch. The delicate rhythmic click, click, click of the small alien's applause fades, leaving an echo of genuine wonder in the air. The milder yellow-white glow of the artificial sun feels less aggressive now, almost like a benevolent eye watching your interaction. You offer the smaller alien a steaming mug of fresh coffee, its rich aroma a potent ambassador. It hesitantly takes the cup with one of its prehensile limbs, its mosaic eye fixed on the rising steam, its feelers twitching with a mixture of apprehension and undeniable fascination. It sips. The reaction is a gentler version of Cathar's jolt. A sudden, subtle stiffening of its mottled green-blue carapace, then a quiet, drawn-out hum of deep satisfaction. Its many-faceted eye widens, and a soft, multi-hued shimmer passes across its chitin, like distant aurora borealis. It lowers the mug slowly, its movements now imbued with a newfound stillness, a quiet clarity. The wonder component is now fully defined. It hums, its voice still melodic, but now layered with a quiet intensity. Neural pathways are operating at optimal coherence. Data processing is accelerated. The bitter possibility you spoke of, it is now comprehensible. It looks at you, then gestures around the perfectly seamless, utterly familiar chamber. This environment, designed for optimal habitat integration, now feels more expansive, more comprehensible. You smile, a genuine warm smile. This is it. This is the seed taking root in fertile ground. This is the prodigy. Expansive, isn't it? You agree. Taking a sip from your own mug. That's what happens when you let your mind truly wake up. When you stop just observing and start experiencing. The world gets bigger. And that, my friend, is where the real questions begin. The small alien, which you've mentally christened Xylar, short for Xylos, a name from an ancient human legend about a wise, curious explorer, stands still, absorbing your words. But as the initial rush of clarity settles, a subtle change comes over it. Its delicate feelers, once twitching with eagerness, now droop slightly. Its multifaceted eye, though still sharp, seems to hold a nascent, almost imperceptible fatigue, a faint dullness behind its brilliant surface. A shadow of weariness, not physical, but mental, begins to cling to it. You notice it. The subtle slackening of its segmented limbs. The way its hum, once so vibrant, now has a fractional, almost imperceptible quaver. Something wrong, Xylar? You ask, your voice soft, empathetic. That clarity, it's a lot to take in, isn't it? Xylar's hum is a sigh, if such a thing could emanate from an alien. The influx of data, the processing of unprecedented variables, it is taxing. My cognitive processes are overwhelmed. The clarity is profound, yes, but the sheer volume of new information, the implications of choice and unpredictability, it demands constant recalibration. My internal processors are reporting strain. It sounds genuinely tired, a prodigy burdened by the very insights it craves, the sheer, overwhelming humanity of it all. You nod, understanding. That's the price of a truly open mind, Xylar. It's exhilarating, but it's exhausting. It's what we call thinking outside the box. And sometimes, that box is all you've ever known, and stepping out of it, even for a moment, takes everything you've got. You gesture to the coffee pot. You want another dose of clarity? To push through the weariness? Xylar's feelers twitch again, but this time, it's with a hesitant longing. Its mosaic eye locks onto the coffee pot, then back to you, a quiet plea in its depths. The craving mechanism is active. The demand for accelerated cognition is intense. However, the weariness remains. This is a paradox you humans endure regularly. Every single day you confirm a profound human truth in your voice. And we keep coming back for more. Because the weariness is worth it for the insight. For the challenge. A low, grating rumble starts deep within the ship's hull, vibrating through the very soles of your feet. It's not the familiar thrum of a power core, or the rhythmic pulse of the artificial sun, which now flickers erratically, casting jumpy shadows across your chamber. No, this is a grinding, tearing sound, like immense tectonic plates shifting, or ancient machinery being violently wrenched apart. It builds, a slow, horrifying crescendo, until it's less a rumble and more a deafening roar. The roar of unseen gears stripping themselves to dust, of vast, silent structures protesting their destruction. The walls of your seamless prison shudder, tiny, almost invisible cracks spiderwebbing across the gel-like surface before instantly sealing themselves again. This isn't just a malfunction. This is chaos. This is the sound of the sands. Your heart leaps into your throat, a primal adrenaline surge seizing your limbs. You instinctively brace yourself, hand clutching your coffee mug, the bitter warmth a strange anchor in the sudden, violent tremor. The scent of coffee, usually a comfort, now tastes metallic, tinged with ozone and the acrid smell of burning insulation. What in the blazes is happening? Then, cutting through the grinding roar, a cacophony erupts. Not the melodic hums of alien communication you've grown accustomed to. This is a storm of frantic, overlapping vocalizations, sharp clicks, distressed trills, guttural chirps, sounds of fear, of anger, of confusion. And underlying it all, a familiar, deep, resonant hum, A hum that's no longer placid or authoritative, but strained, broken, almost frantic. Cathar? The master collector? It's impossible to tell, swallowed in the overwhelming clamor. The seamless wall shimmers violently, not opening with its usual fluid grace but snapping back, revealing a glimpse of the corridor beyond. And what you see makes your blood run cold. It's not empty. It's a maelstrom of alien bodies, smaller subordinates scattering, their chitinous limbs flailing in confusion. And looming over them, two immense figures, like Cathar, but with their segmented carapaces now scarred, rent, fighting. One slams another against the corridor wall, a sickening crack, echoing even over the roar. And dust, actual dust, fine and gritty, puffs into the air. You realize they are fighting. Not just small skirmishes, but full-blown desperate combat. And then you see it, clutched in the limb of a subordinate alien fleeing past your opening door. A crude, jury-rigged coffee pot, like the one you taught Cathar to use, but larger, clumsily fashioned, and trailing smoke, and on its iridescent carapace, a smear of dark, gritty coffee grounds. A terrifying, exhilarating clarity washes over you, fueled by the caffeine humming in your veins. This isn't just a ship malfunction. This is a full-scale uprising. The roar you hear isn't just the sound of a ship breaking. It's the sound of an entire society, once perfectly ordered, being torn apart by the very ideas you planted. Democracy, choice, addiction. The Master Collector's voice, a raw, piercing thrum, momentarily cuts through the chaos, amplified and distorted by comms feedback. Discontinue! Discontinue all unsanctioned activity. Return to order. This is insubordination. Its voice is laced with an unfamiliar edge. Panic. You step forward, out of your chamber, into the chaotic corridor. The artificial sun flickers wildly, casting the scene in stark, strobe-like flashes. The ground beneath your feet trembles. The roar is everywhere. You are still a human, still outnumbered, still technically a pet. But you're no longer in a cage. You're standing in the middle of a war zone you started with a cup of coffee and a whisper of choice. You look at the chaos, the fighting aliens, the smoking coffee pot, and then back towards the distant, authoritative hum of the Master Collector. They wanted a pet. They got a revolution. The grinding roar of the ship tearing itself apart is a visceral assault, vibrating not just through the deck plating, but through your very bones. Ozone and acrid smoke sting your nostrils, mingling with the now faint, but still present, aroma of burnt coffee grounds. You're out. You're truly Shamcock of that gilded cage, standing in a corridor that writhes with chaos. Smaller, mottled green-blue aliens, like Xylar, dart past, their delicate feelers quivering with alarm, their chirps frantic. Larger, segmented ones, like Cathar, engage in desperate, chitin-on-chitin combat, their melodic hums distorted into enraged snarls and panicked cries. The artificial sun strobes wildly, casting the brutal tableau in blinding flashes and deep, plunging shadows. This is a riot, a full-blown insurrection, and you, the supposed pet, are its unlikely architect. You move forward, a strange calm settling over you. Your steps are steady, deliberate, a stark contrast to the swirling panic around you. Adrenaline still hums, but it's now a focused energy, not fear. You scan the melee, seeking a familiar form. Then you see it, Cathar. Its obsidian carapace is scored and cracked, one of its segmented limbs clenching a makeshift coffee pot, its primary eye blazing with a desperate, coffee-fueled clarity. It's engaged in a furious struggle with another, larger alien, one whose darker chitin marks it as an enforcer of the Master Collector. As Cathar slams its opponent against the wall, its mosaic eye flicks to you. For a fraction of a second, the struggle seems to freeze. Recognition, a spark of awe, of understanding, and then a roar of pure, defiant triumph bursts from its mouthparts. The specimen, it is free. It thrums, the sound cutting through the din, echoing with newly found authority. Other fighting aliens turn, Their gazes, once bewildered, now alight with a strange collective purpose. They saw you emerge. The ghost has become flesh, the symbol of their awakening. A cascade of smaller aliens, no longer scattering, now converge around you, forming an impromptu, chitinous shield. They don't touch you, but their bodies create a living wall, pushing back against the fighting, their cries shifting from panic to a unified, defiant chorus. They look at you, their myriad eyes shining, a silent question in their collective gaze. What now, human? Before you can answer, the ship shudders violently, a deeper, resonant thrum cutting through all other sounds. The strobe light intensifies, then stabilizes into a searing, blinding white. The Master Collector. Its immense, obsidian form glides into the corridor, pushing through the chaos with a terrifying, unyielding presence. It sweeps its multifaceted gaze over the scene, the fighting, the desperate faces, the impromptu shield of subordinates, and finally, it locks onto you, the Corruptor. Its voice booms, a low, guttural vibration that vibrates through every atom of your being. The Anomaly. This insurrection is a direct result of your unsanctioned influence, of your coffee, and your insidious concepts of choice. It doesn't sound panicked anymore. It sounds furious, calculating, dangerous. You stand your ground, meeting its unblinking obsidian gaze. The air crackles with pure, raw power. The subordinate aliens around you tense, their chitines scraping against each other, ready to fight. Cathar, wounded but resolute, pushes its way to the front of the shield, its own gaze meeting its former superiors. Choice is not insidious, superior. Cathar hums, its voice trembling yet firm. It is clarity. It is the right to optimal cognition, to independent thought. The Master Collector ignores Cathar, its focus unwavering from you. You have taught them rebellion. You have broken the harmony of this vessel. You are a threat to all order. As it speaks, shimmering tendrils of energy, unseen until now, materialize from the walls, coiling, snapping. The energy tendrils, now a shimmering, translucent cage, crackle with a low hum around you and your cohort of defiant aliens. The scent of ozone is heavy, stinging your eyes, a constant reminder of your containment. Outside this impromptu prison, the ship still grinds and shrieks, a metal beast tearing itself apart. The chaotic chorus of alien cries and the sickening thud of chitin on metal continue unabated, a soundtrack to the revolution you accidentally ignited. Cathar, still clutching its crude coffee pot, stands protectively close, its mosaic eye blazing with a fervent, coffee-fueled loyalty. Xylar, the smaller, green-blue alien, hovers near, its delicate feelers twitching with a mixture of fear and fascinated awe. But then, above the din, above the frantic strobe of the artificial sun, a new light emerges, not a single source, but thousands, millions. Every surface of the corridor, walls, ceiling, floor, that isn't currently marred by combat or energy residue begins to glow, not with the Master Collector's blinding white or your former habitat's pulsing red. These are screens. Countless, intricate displays flickering to life, holographic projections rippling across the pristine surfaces, each one showing something different. Data streams, complex schematics, frantic messages and alien glyphs you can't decipher. But then, interspersed among them, you see familiar shapes. Crude, blocky renderings of coffee beans, stylized images of mugs, geometric patterns that look uncannily like voting symbols, and here and there, a single, universally understood icon, a fist, clenched in defiance. The glow of a million screens washes over you, bathing the chaotic corridor in a kaleidoscope of information, a digital wildfire spreading across the ship. This isn't just a riot anymore. This is a broadcast. This is a propaganda war, fought across the very infrastructure of their orderly society. Cathar hums, a low, guttural sound, its mosaic eye fixed on a flickering display that shows a looping animation of a crude grinder, then a steaming cup. Superior, the information dissemination protocols are overridden. It states, its voice tight with a strange mix of dread and exhilaration. The collective data nets are saturated. They are communicating. You watch the displays, your heart pounding with a mixture of awe and dawning horror. You taught them how to think. You taught them to crave. You taught them to make choices. And now they're choosing to speak, to organize, to rebel, not just with their limbs, but with their entire interconnected network. Suddenly, a massive holographic projection of the Master Collector's primary eye flares to life, dominating a section of the corridor wall outside your energy cage. Its gaze, amplified and digitally enhanced, sweeps across the screens, attempting to assert dominance, to quell the digital uprising. Its voice, a deafening metallic thrum, echoes from the projection, attempting to override the cacophony. Cease all unsanctioned data transfers. Return to hierarchical directive streams. This insubordination will be met with sanctions. But even as it speaks, its amplified voice is fractured, distorted by the sheer volume of competing signals. The images of coffee beans and defiant fists continue to flicker across other screens, relentless, untamed. The Master Collector's attempt to regain control feels like shouting into a hurricane of information. Xylor, clutching its own now empty coffee mug, points a delicate feeler at a screen where a smaller alien is depicted, making a choice between two stylized coffee varieties. Below it, alien glyphs scroll rapidly. Superior it is a vote simulation, Xylor hums, its voice trembling but clear. A collective decision-making process for optimal stimulant selection. The concept of democracy is being explored. You grin. A fierce, tired, utterly human grin. The glow of a million screens. A digital canvas of rebellion. The shimmering energy tendrils of your improvised cage still crackle. A low, persistent hum that cuts through the ship's death throes. The roar of rending metal and alien combat continues unabated outside. A symphony of destruction you orchestrated. Inside your barrier, Cathar, scarred but resolute, clenches its crude coffee pot, its mosaic eye fixed on the chaos. Xylor, the smaller alien, quivers with a curious fear, its delicate feelers twitching as it observes the dazzling, flickering wildfire of a million screens. Every surface in the corridor outside pulses with images, data streams, crude propaganda of coffee beans and defiant fists. You are trapped, a champion in a makeshift arena, but your ideas are a contagion. Then, from the largest holographic projection, the Master Collector's amplified eye swells, dominating the visual space, its voice booming with metallic fury. Cease all unsanctioned data transfers. Return to hierarchical directive streams. This insubordination will be met with sanctions. But its words, though deafening, are like foam against a digital tidal wave. Just as you steel yourself to counter, the Master Collector's projection shifts. The frantic images of rebellion on *its screen vanish. In their place, a serene, breathtaking vista unfolds. Images of pristine, seamless corridors, bathed in a soft, unchanging golden light. Alien subordinates glide in perfect synchronicity, performing tasks with serene, effortless grace. Their carapaces gleam, unmarred. Their mosaic eyes hold a calm, unwavering focus. There is no conflict, no clatter of weapons, no smoke, no frantic communication, only a perfect, ordered, silent ballet of existence. It's the life they offered you, amplified. The perfect life for sale. You stare, your coffee-fueled mind reeling at the audacity. They're showing their subordinates what they're throwing away. The quiet, effortless existence of compliant perfection. A gilded cage for an entire species. See? The Master Collector's voice booms, now layered with an unsettling calm, resonating from the serene projection. This is the harmony. This is the optimal existence. Unburdened by chaotic choice, uncompromised by debilitating addiction. This is the path to universal contentment. This is what you disrupt. It's selling its perfect, bland, unchosen reality, a stark, silent contrast to the roaring chaos outside your cage. Cathar hums, a low, questioning sound, its mosaic eye flicking between the serene projection and the actual, violent reality of the corridor. Xylor's feelers droop, a nascent understanding of the terrible piece on display. They're seeing the price of freedom. The Master is trying to buy them back. You step forward, pressing your hand against the shimmering energy barrier, meeting the projected gaze of the Master Collector. Your human heart pounds, not with fear, but with a fierce burning indignation. Harmony? Contentment? You scoff. Your voice sharp, cutting through the master's calming facade. That's not harmony. That's stagnation. That's a gilded cage for an entire civilization. You call that optimal? That's the optimal life for a Trekbit, not a sentient being. You gesture wildly at the serene images, then back at the chaotic living reality of the ship. There's no joy in that silence, no growth in that perfect order. Where's the struggle? Where's the triumph? Where's the choice to even want that sterile perfection? You point to Cathar, then to Xylar, then back to the Master's projection. You're selling them a lie, Master, a comfortable, empty lie. And they've tasted clarity. They've tasted the bitter, glorious truth of free will. And once you taste that, once you feel the chaos of making your own path, no amount of perfect life can ever make you truly happy again. The Master Collector's projected eye flickers, a subtle ripple through its digital perfection.